Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, an instrument company in Hindman was heavily damaged by July's flood. More than 3 months later, it's finally reopened its doors. And midterm elections are less than 1 week away. A look at some of the big issues and how politicians view them.
And cloudy skies with us for now, but sunshine looms as we head into the rest of the week. That breakdown on the way ahead as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. After July's flood destroyed many parts of the Appalachian Artisan Center in Knott County, including the Troublesome Creek Stringed Instrument Company, Troublesome Creek staff spent the last 3 months cleaning up what was left behind. But now, things are starting to return to normal. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has our update.
July's flood left many Troublesome Creek employees uncertain of what things would look like for them and the company.
I didn't really know what was going to come of our job. Like, in my mind, it was gone. Like, there was no getting it back. There was, it was just washed away.
Through the Appalachian Artisan Center's Music Heals From Recovery to Workforce project, Troublesome Creek works to hire people in recovery. People like Jeremy Haney, who is working to rebuild his life when the flood destroyed his apartment.
Through it all, I've seen a lot of evidence of God working through the community, of people helping one another, and just, a great stride and effort of people cleaning up the mess.
Those with Troublesome Creek are even more optimistic now that the company has opened its doors once again.
When you get to the place where, oh, look, this is where I work now, this is where my stuff lives, it really is, it's like a load has been lifted off your shoulder.
Troublesome Creek is now operating from another building owned by the Artisan Center. Employees will resume production, and the School of Luthery will host classes there until the original buildings are repaired.
We really do want to fill that parking lot with cars because to the people who get jobs, who earn jobs at Troublesome Creek, it's really a lifesaver. It's important to them.
Looking forward to brighter days at Troublesome Creek. In Knott County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
The school director says he plans to build back the Troublesome Creek factory better than before. He says they hope to have the building up and running again sometime next year.
Well, mostly cloudy skies from today will continue to clear as we head through the overnight hours. We're seeing some hints of sunshine in some spots, but I wouldn't say the clouds are done yet. But you can see the breaks in the clouds overlooking Interstate 64 at Moorhead, where the temperature remains at 64 at this hour. Along the Mountain Parkway in Slade, a few more clouds there, mid-60s. That's where we all really are, middle 60s, just about everywhere. Middlesboro 69 there near 70 degrees. Same thing in Jacksboro. So we are seeing some milder air, especially in areas that saw a little bit of sunshine. You see that there in parts of East Tennessee. And you're thinking, this is some beneficial rain that we're getting. No, it isn't. It's just high clouds, unfortunately. We do need the rain, but at most a drizzle with some of this as this continues to work onto the east. You see the back edge of this system working its way now toward the Louisville area, so it's quickly moving on out, and we'll see some nicer conditions as we head into tonight. So you see we'll clear as we head through tonight into the 50s as we finish things off. Details, though, on when we could see a return to some very spring-like weather in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. With just 6 days to go before Election Day, President Biden is expected to deliver an address on Capitol Hill about threats to democracy and the attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband. The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Republicans in a good position to win a majority in the House. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
President Biden is set to speak directly to voters this evening during a political rally in Washington, D.C.
The president will continue to speak about the challenges facing our democracy and his enduring belief that America will persevere.
The address near Capitol Hill comes as midterm elections enter the final stretch.
Vote for Herschel Walker. Put me in that Senate seat.
GOP Senate hopeful Herschel Walker campaigned in Georgia Tuesday, criticizing opponent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock.
It is time for us to get leaders in Washington that's going to be a leader, not be a follower, because he's a follower.
Former President Obama is in Arizona to rally support for incumbent Senator Mark Kelly and gubernatorial candidate Katie Hobbs.
The stakes could not be higher.
Hobbs is locked in a tight race with Republican nominee Carrie Lake.
We got to get back on the right road to success, to the American dream.
President Biden is hoping Democrats retain control of Congress, which could come down to key races in Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania.
Rest assured, Philadelphians, it will be safe for you to vote.
In Pennsylvania, where Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is taking on Republican celebrity Dr. Mehmet Oz, concerns are growing about voter intimidation, including harassment or people showing up armed at polling places.
Your authoritarian, un-American, anti-democratic conduct on Election Day, if it is illegal, will put you in jail.
In a win for Republicans, the state's Supreme Court ruled Tuesday that officials cannot count votes from mail-in or absentee ballots that don't have accurate handwritten dates on their return envelopes. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Vice President Kamala Harris is in Massachusetts campaigning for Democratic candidates, while First Lady Jill Biden is in Pennsylvania stumping for Democrats. The First Lady is also expected to attend Game 4 of the World Series. We're learning a little more concerning former President Donald Trump and if he'll make another run for the White House. During a speech last month in Texas, he indicated a presidential campaign was in the works, but the former president's inner circle says he has not made a decision. However, Trump aides and allies say they are eyeing a 2-week window after the midterms to make the final decision, but that timeline could shift if election results are delayed. We're looking at the big issues for voters in the midterms, including access to abortion. A new study by an abortion rights advocacy group found that abortions declined by 6% nationwide in the months after Roe v. Wade was overturned. But the number of procedures has gone up in the states where abortion is legal, especially in places like Illinois, which border states with more restrictions. CBS's Adriana Diaz traveled to the southern part of that state, home to a new mobile Planned Parenthood clinic, complete with 2 exam rooms, a waiting area, and a lab.
This may look like your standard long-haul RV, but step on board and it's a fully operational medical facility. Or as these Planned Parenthood employees call it, an act of activism.
It looks very much like a regular brick and mortar health center for us.
But you can feel the fact that we're not on.
Yes.
We're not in a building.
It is a little more bouncy.
Dr. Colleen McNicholas is the chief medical officer at Planned Parenthood of St. Louis. She says the mobile clinic will be parked in Illinois near the border with Missouri to make abortions easier to access from out of state. They plan to provide medical abortions by pill here in the mobile unit by the end of the year and surgical procedures next year.
Hands off our bodies!
It's part of Planned Parenthood's answer to the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade in June. Since then, they've seen a 370% increase at their Southern Illinois clinic from patients traveling from beyond Illinois and Missouri.
Was the influx what you anticipated?
We saw it a lot more quickly than we expected it to come.
It came fast and furious.
It came fast and furious.
We are in Illinois where abortion is legal, but is providing abortion to women in Missouri where it is illegal undermining Missouri law?
You know, our priority is making sure that the constituents who have been left behind in those states have access to basic health care.
Pro-life, pro-woman.
Missouri only had 1 abortion clinic left before Roe fell, due in part to lobbyists like Sam Lee of Campaign Life Missouri, an anti-abortion rights group.
We think it's very irresponsible for Planned Parenthood trying to solicit Missouri women, and then when a woman has a complication, where can she go back to get help when that abortion ban is gone?
Instead, Lee wants to see more resources go to alternatives for pregnant women here in Missouri, like pregnancy centers and housing help.
It always comes down to, for women who are unsure about their decision or are being coerced into their decision, being given true choices.
Roe v. Wade has got to go.
With so many raw emotions being expressed on both sides of this issue,
We were really thoughtful about the security and safety of the unit.
the RV is equipped with cameras and will initially have a security guard. Still, Dr. McNicholas says this is the time to push boundaries.
We're really at a critical moment, a public health crisis, where we need folks to be thinking differently, to be working together, to be acting boldly, and to be taking risks.
Adriana Diaz, CBS News.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, if you're gearing up for holiday shopping, consumer safety experts urge you to be on the lookout. 'Tis the season for online shopping scams. We'll have tips to keep your money safe.
Well, sunshine is on the way back to the forecast as we head later into this week. That breakdown just ahead.